You got it.
All right, time now for all things Gators. Dan Hicken and Frank Frangie. What's up, Hit?
All well. Thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, se-ortho.com. It's not all well. That's a lie. But, when it comes to the Gators, listen, I'm just ready for the season to be over, to pack up the balls, name a coach, and let's go forward, whomever that may be. That's what I'm ready for. What do you want to start with? You want to start with the game?
Yeah, let's do the game. Let's spend a lot of time on the game. Maybe 30 seconds.
Okay, yeah. It's 28-0 before I could blink an eye. They had the ball 4 times. They scored 4 touchdowns. They kicked our ass. Jaden Ball looked like the only guy who played his heart out. Appreciate him, which only made me wonder who's going to try to sign him next year. Yeah. Which is why it's always imperative to get a really good coach. But it was just an awful night at the Swamp, except for Gator Nation, who showed up in droves. God bless you, Gator Nation. That's a toxic fan base, Tim Brando. That was a terrific performance by the fan base.
Yeah, it was. And listen, we've seen enough of these interim seasons. We've seen.
I know.
Greg Knox and Gary Darnell, and we could make a list of favorite interim coaches. I mean, we've seen it forever. The season needs to end. I still think there's some dudes there, but we'll get to that coming up. But look, Tennessee came in there. The one, as bad as it's been for Florida, the last thing they needed was to run into an offense like that.
Right.
And so they weren't going to hang around. Florida can't score with anybody. The offense is miserable. The plan is bad. The play calling. So
202 yards to 1 yard to start the game.
Yeah, I know. Pretty amazing. It was so. Hey, you know what it was? But again, the odd thing, because we're gonna as we turn the page here, the crazy thing about that was I'm on the road with the Jags, and I'm in Arizona, traveling to Arizona, then in Arizona, and it's almost bizarre for me. It's almost kind of surreal, Dan, that the Gators are playing Tennessee. This is Florida Tennessee week.
Yeah.
This is Larry Kennedy running one back in 91. This is 48 straight points in 95. This is 35-0 to start the game in 96. This is Casey Clausen leading the band, whether we like it or not. This is Florida, Tennessee, and all I'm doing is checking my phone to see if there's any Kiffin updates. Is there any Kiffin? Who is he going to LSU? Is he going? I mean, wasn't it? Did you feel that way? That it was surreal that with this football game going on, and to your point, the wonderful Gator fans who packed that place because they're freaking awesome. And Gator fans, you are awesome. That's awesome the way they do that. But we're all looking to see who the coach is. Did you find that odd or weird as we were going?
Yeah, it's been like that for a while now. And and then they played hard against Georgia and played hard against Ole Miss, played terribly against Kentucky, played terribly against Tennessee. So, and like I said, I'll even give you an I'll even give you an FSU win if I hear that Lane Kiffin's coming to Florida.
Yeah.
Fine with me. I'm so over this year. We stink. I don't expect us to win on Saturday, by the way. I've said that to all my FSU friends. Keep your chins up, boys. You got one more W in your back pocket.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
my guess is FSU will beat them too. But if there's one team that can mess it up as bad as Florida messes it up, it's FSU.
That's what their fans keep telling me. But they also outgain everybody, and we just again I hate our offense. I hate it. I can't wait till that. I never have to see a guy running I hate everything about it. Yeah. I hate it. I hated it for 4 years. We used to make fun of this.
Yeah.
Everything about it I hate.
Yeah, I'm with you too. And again, A product of that is Lagway. That God bless him. Maybe in another system, in another world, he'd be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But he looks so lost. He doesn't know which guy to throw it to. Doesn't know. Takes forever to get the snap off. And again, maybe it's not DJ. Maybe it's just a symptom of everything that's wrong with the offense program. But God, poor guy, just watching him. It was you knew nothing good was coming. You know, at no point was anything good coming. As always, they scored a touchdown at the end because if DJ drops back and has a guy wide open, he's a pretty good deep thrower. Yeah. That's about it. You know,
when Smack missed the field goal, I really thought the shutout was in play. And I was like, this would be apropos.
Right.
472 games or whatever it is. It's the only, I mean, we have all these streaks, Frank, right? All these streaks.
Yeah.
Watch one. And it wasn't just Napier, right? It was Muschamp. It was Mullen. I've watched all these streaks go by the wayside. And and Herbie and Fowler tried their best to build it up a little bit. That by 6 minutes ago in the first quarter, they were digging into their back pocket of material.
And they said it. They even said that. I've called enough games that I know you got to go to blow up material, but you don't tell anybody you're going to blow out material.
No, they were right too. It's like becomes like a sports talk radio show on. Right. Oh yeah, there's a nice play by Jaden Ball. Anyway, who do you think should be in the college football playoff?
Right. But I'm telling you, and they did say that. So and listen, one final thought about that game. Here's what's weird. When we get the new coach in, because we're getting ready to talk about that, whoever that is, I still believe he's getting some players. Now, one question. Let me ask you this question. I know we're not doctors, but can we do something where every good Florida player isn't hurt for 5 weeks?
Oh my God.
That's been one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Dallas Wilson and Eugene Wilson and Vernell Brown and Caleb Banks and every good player, everyone, Dan, gone for 5 weeks at a time. Is that a nutrition thing? Is it a strength program thing?
Well, it's all going to be different starting here in a few weeks. So I don't know. I hope it is.
Right.
And I hope they're clearing everything out and starting anew. And it's what they should do. And if you're a good coach, you'll come in and you'll find good players and you'll sign good players and you'll win football games again. And the great thing at Florida, whoever the new coach is, I mean, again, I hate to say it, but you win 8 games for us next year with an easier schedule and you'll be a hero.
Yeah, right. And that's where we are. So as we segue to that, I was on the road with the Jags, but I'm watching my favorite streaming show, Swamp Sessions, on Saturday night. I kind of live for it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, thank you.
I pulled up the phone and I kind of look forward to it. But in watching my favorite show, Swamp Sessions, and people who haven't watched it, you need to after one of these Gator games. If you haven't already gone to bed, not because of Dan and Jeff, but because of the Gator game. But you said you're very confident Lane Kiffin's still coming to Florida. I saw that on my Swamp Sessions. So I got a lot of thoughts on that, but expound on your confidence there.
Well, I just, again, and the folks I talked to, I think they've done it obviously different than LSU, and they talk about this monster deal that LSU's putting together. I'm pretty sure Florida's put together a monster deal of its own, and we'll see. I don't think it's all about money. I mean, the guy's loaded. He knows it. It's one of 3 places. I think everybody's focused on LSU, then Ole Miss, then Florida. And look, it changes day by day, though, Frank. It changes day by day. I can't tell you. I just think the relationship that Lane and his family have with this state ultimately will lead him here. That's what I think. Now, will it? I don't know. Will he get emotional after the Egg Bowl and say, damn it, I'm staying? He might. Will his agent say, hey, Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge? He might. So I don't even know. I get the kick out of the, people on social media. I know where he's going. This is going to make you say, wow. I mean, whatever, clickbait away. We'll see.
Yeah. I'll give you a lot of thought. Let me kind of frame up the rumors. Can you do the rumors? In the LSU camp,
yes,
the belief is it was 90 or 98. I lost track of how many.
Yeah, it keeps going up, by the way.
It does, but however many. So the LSU figures they're getting him. They have insight, and the national narrative. Pete Thamel and all the national guys say LSU is now emerged as the leader. Which, unlike you, I get a kick out of it, and I think Lane's getting a kick out of it. So the national narrative when the weekend began was it was LSU. So what I do believe is this, that I believe Florida was with him Thursday. That seems to be the conversation. Now, maybe LSU was too. I believe Florida was with him, talking to him something on Thursday. I do believe that. On Friday, the AD made a very bizarre statement saying that Coach Kiffin and I, blah, 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 we've met with Chancellor Boyce, and after these conversations, we have decided we're going to focus on the Egg Bowl, and then we'll let you know Coach Kiffin's destination on Saturday. Well, that tells me it's not Ole Miss, because if there's any chance it's Ole Miss, you don't do that. I think he's preparing his fans. Let's go win the Egg Bowl, get to 11-1, and then we're going to tell you where he's going. So that's my opinion. So the LSU narrative is that means he's coming to LSU and he's told them. All right, and these are all rumors, by the way.
Right.
The Florida narrative that I've heard over the weekend now is that Florida has gotten to him, that he signed an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, to come to Florida, and that's what will be announced. And some people are even guessing he might be at the Florida State game. Now, I don't know that I believe that, but I want to be clear. I'm just framing up the rumors we've heard.
Don't forget the rumor about the volleyball game getting canceled so they could have the venue to have the press conference.
Correct. So that's part of the rumor. So who knows? But so that's where we stand.
Right.
So as we sit here doing this on a Monday morning, what we kind of know is it's probably down to 3 schools. He's probably not staying at Ole Miss. That's an opinion, not a fact. And I'm like you, because I'm a Florida guy, not an LSU guy. I still hearken back to where you're going with this, and that is, for whatever reason, he couldn't wait to tell people that Spurrier was his idol. And that's why he wears the visor and why he makes barbs at other coaches, because he modeled himself after Spurrier. He couldn't wait to tell Molly McGrath that the Swamp's a special place, and that's where he and Layla had their first date. For whatever reason, I told you this before, he's had years to tell those stories. He's telling them now. And I haven't heard that he's also telling stories about how much he loves jambalaya, all right? I haven't heard any LSU stories. Maybe he's telling them to their websites, right? But I haven't heard him if he's telling them. I've heard the Florida stories, so I'm like you. My guess is, I'm guessing that he's always craved the Florida job. And by the way, if he doesn't take the Florida job now, he'll never have another crack at it. So he's 50, not 30.
Right.
So if he really does dream of one day being the Florida coach and prowling the same sideline Steve Spurrier did with the same visor, if that's really where he is, this is his chance, because he's not getting another crack at that job, So, and he's got to know that. So, but it's just bizarre. You were talking about the clickbait stuff. You're probably talking about Josh Pate, who came out and said, I found out where Kiffin's going, wow. Well, the wow would imply that it's none of the 3, right?
Right.
So and I like Josh. I think he's smart, but he's painted himself into a corner now. If he winds up at one of the 3, then it wasn't wow, okay? Right. If you look up and he's going to the Tennessee Titans, okay, you know what? Now you know what the wow was about. So, so everyone's trying to follow these stories and follow. I don't know where he's going. I think it's Florida. I'll throw this back at you because I do this every time we do this. If it's not him, is there anybody they could hire that wouldn't be a big letdown for Gator Nation?
Well, what I would tell Gator Nation is, and again, it's what I would do, is I would tell them, hey, listen, it's not Napier, okay? Yeah. So for that alone, let's get behind our new guy.
Right.
I'm almost of the ilk now, if it's not Lanning, if it's not Lane, that I think Florida, who are the 3 best coaches in America? Kirby, Dan Lanning, Ryan Day. All 3 were assistants at the D1 programs. It's very successful D1 programs. I'm of the ilk now. Now, you have to factor in we will never, ever hire anybody with any Georgia ties again.
Right.
I can't do that. If you were born in Georgia, played at Georgia, been part of that staff, you ain't coming.
If you have a red shirt, you can't come. I get it.
Don't want you.
I get it.
So then I looked at I don't know a thing about this guy, but everybody raves about him, and I'm the guy at Oregon. I'd love to sit down and talk to him. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you take that shot.
You're talking about the coordinator, not Lanning, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Will Stein.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you do. Listen, I'm not real excited about Drinkwitz. I'm not real excited about Jed Fish. who, by the way, is moving up some of the betting charts. Jed Fish is.
Yeah.
But I don't care who it is. I'll support him. But to me, I think this is where you really can you discover somebody, find somebody who's the next can be the next Kirby, Dan Lanning, or Ryan Day. You know, I just wonder.
That's a really interesting take, Dan. And I wonder if because of the failures Florida's had in the recent hires, it would be too risky to hire a guy that hasn't been a head coach. Your point's a very good one. Those guys, the guys you just cited, had not been head coaches before. They're brilliant head coaches. I hear you. But I just wonder, would Florida get vilified by its own fan base if they went and hired a guy that's never been a head coach? That's my fear.
That's fair. I mean, I get that totally. I want that home run hire, Frank. I'm just tired of
And number one, I'm like you. If you ask me to bet my money, and again, as I've always said, I'd rather bet your money. But if you ask me to bet my money, I would still bet Kiffin. I really would, Dan.
Yeah.
If I was guessing, if I had to bet if you had to ask me, Frank, who do you really think is going to be on the Florida sideline next year? I still do think it's Kiffin. Whether that's my bias, I do think Lane Kiffin on Saturday or Sunday, we're going to know he's the Florida coach. That's my opinion. But
I'm excited to know. I'm tired of it. I'm ready to know. I think everybody's ready to know.
Yes.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
And my hope is this too, Frank. If it's not Kiffin, that Florida has done enough work to immediately announce the next coach. I don't want, we're going to start it up. Don't worry. No. I'm hoping that they vetted, interviewed, and know who the next guy is if it's not Lane Kiffin.
I agree with you. And
they can say it, boom, right away, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Well, now, and my other concern is to your point, is how we started this whole topic about it, is I'm like you. I can't find anybody else I'm excited about. That doesn't mean I hate it.
Right.
Drinkwitz, I'm not excited about. Jed Fish, I'm not excited about. They're the two names you hear the most.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Riley, I probably would be. He's not coming. Right. You know, so if I look at the guys who are out there, Jeff Brom I'd be a little excited about, but boy, they're in the tank, man. They've lost 3. The only
they got injuries. I watched him a little bit on Saturday. He's a really good play caller. Yeah. I would be fine with him. Why is Lincoln Riley not coming?
Yeah. I just don't think he's leaving USC.
Yeah, I don't either. But somebody told me he had a huge buyout.
Yeah.
But if he were to leave, if he wanted to leave for another job, it's only like $10 million. So that's not an issue. But I don't think
I would love Lincoln Riley because I think he's a really good coach. I don't think it worked at USC for whatever reason. But I think he's a really good coach.
Right.
And I think he's a guy that with new life in the SEC, the way he calls plays, I think there would be an injection of life for him. My gut doesn't tell me.
I would agree with that.
He's leaving USC. So
all right. Well, let's get that done. Let's find out. And I'm looking forward to that part of it.
So do you think we'll know Saturday?
Yes. About Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin will let us know.
I almost expect it to seep out this week.
Yeah.
But I think by Saturday afternoon, the Egg Bowl is at noon on Friday.
Right.
My guess is on Saturday afternoon, as the Gator fans are filling into the swamp, and they're all going to be there because those Gator fans. And by the way, I'm like you. I'm proud of Gator Nation, man.
Yeah, that was great.
It's not just sellouts in word. They're in those butts and seats, man. And Gator Nation ain't afraid. And that's good for you, Gator Nation. That's
you're right. One thing though, Frank, you really want to blow the doors off him, man. You trot that guy out at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? And I think, and I don't know him, it's just my opinion from afar, but I think he's a guy that would love that. Yeah. I think he'd love to run out there with his visor and pump him at halftime of the game, and that place will lose its mind.
Yeah.
You know? So we'll see. But anyway, so to wrap this, I want to get real quickly to basketball. To wrap this very quickly, you and I both kind of think it's Kiffin, and we're kind of in the same mindset that if it's not, who knows? There's not a clear. Is it safe to say in Gator Nation and in the media narrative, there's clearly not a number 2 that everybody would prefer? Is that agreed?
One of our buddies who's watching this just texted me, "Make Kiffin Mr. 2 Bits."
Dude, that'd be awesome. Oh, goodness.
Oh,
That'd be funny.
oh God.
All right. Hey, basketball. Are you
You
concerned
better,
about?
you better fix that guard from Princeton. That's all. That's your job.
Are you
Fix him
concerned?
and we'll be okay.
Are you concerned about the shooting, the guard?
Yes.
I am. Yeah. Look,
It's getting a little too much.
they have so many good players,
Yeah.
particularly that front court, that they're going deep. They're
Yeah.
going to be very good. They're going to win 25 games or whatever the number is.
We
They're
got Duke and UConn coming up, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, they're going to be a 3 or a 4 seed. I don't worry that any of that's not going to happen. There's too many. Chinyulu's too good. Connor's too good. Hauk is a top 15 draft pick. I don't worry about that. But to win the championship, and by the way, we just won one. Okay, so you have to have guards. I worry about, and you have to have shooting. Do you find yourself thinking that? And by the way, Isaiah Brown made a couple threes. It looks like he's now moved ahead of Ingram and some of those guys. Do you find yourself thinking that little Urban Klavzar is going to be really important? Doesn't it feel that way?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
For better or worse, he's going to be a really important, because he's going to probably be the assigned shooter off the bench.
Yep.
And I don't know. And by the way, Klavzar, I'll say this: he's not a deficiency handling passing. What I wonder is he a liability defensively?
He might be.
So
he probably is to a point. They can mask it a little bit, but he's got to make threes, and he has done that and that's exciting. And if he can do that,
yeah.
And we'll see. But yeah, the guard play does not come close right now to what we had last year.
That's the issue. The guard. You got to have guards.
Yeah.
You have to have guards, and I hope the guard plays okay.
Anytime you want a reminder, just go back and watch a couple of those tournament games, and you'll just.
Well, they won. They won. Look, the front court was great and second chance opportunities, and they're long and athletic.
Yeah.
They're holding a trophy because of those guards.
That's right.
Holding it. So anyway, all right. That's all things Gators. The Kiffin watch is on.
Yes, sir.
Next week. Maybe the next time we do this, we'll be talking about the new Florida football coach. That's all things Gators. Dan Hicken and Frank Frangie.
Thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Thank you, Frank. Have a great week.
You too, Hick.
All right, bud.